Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Ross Carter with the Medical Influencers Show. Today, my guest is Nate Zeleznick. Very welcome. Welcome to the show today, Nate.
Thank you very much, Dr. Carter. It's an honor to be here. I sure
Yeah,
appreciate the opportunity.
my pleasure. So today we're going to talk about something a little more unusual that we normally talk than we normally talk about. Today we're going to talk about, well, it's going to be best described by you, Nate, but in essence, it's how people that have visual impairments can actually improve their other senses to be able to kind of see without their eyes, basically. It actually can apply not only to those who have visual impairment, but other people that are more, I would say, enlightened, that do have visual, they can see fine, but it also can apply to them as well. So can you give us a little bit of background about this so that people can understand a little bit better?
Absolutely. You know, uh, it, your viewers may not be able to tell this by looking at me, but I come from a very long line of servant leaders. And I have people on both sides of my family in the fields of medicine, education, genetics, and also healing. And so it's in my genes to want to do something to improve the world. And I just didn't know how until a sequence of events happened in 1999 that led me on a path to understanding more than I ever thought could have been possible in the human brain and the human mind and our ability to sense. So I received a course from Black Belt Magazine that was guaranteed inner power in 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm American. I want chi in 2 weeks. That sounds great. Well, the method wasn't effective, but it did come with a video that showed Indonesian martial artists doing some amazing things, like breaking steel and stone with barely touching the things. But I was like, okay, yeah, I've been involved in martial arts for a long time, and I've hurt myself racking myself on boards and bricks.
Right.
So there was one demonstration that showed people who were blindfolded that were running, and I mean full bolt running through obstacle courses, breaking objects above their head, riding motorcycles and bikes through traffic. If anybody's ever been to Southeast Asia, you know their traffic is, we don't quite understand it. We don't know what to make of it with the Western mind of the way we drive here. It's
I've seen it.
incredible. Yeah,
It's crazy. Like, wow, how do they
yeah,
not wreck all the time?
exactly.
Yeah.
And there were also demonstrations of people fighting blindfolded and
Mhm.
military members with hoods on that were shooting targets out of people's mouths like balloons. People were holding in their mouth and between their legs, and these military members were blindfolded and shooting these targets. But there was also a demonstration of blind people who were doing a demonstration for officials from Oman. This is back in the early 90s, and they were having audience members come and write on a whiteboard uh, an object, a shape or a face, and then write a word. And these blind people would go up and they would scan like with their hand, and then they would duplicate what they saw on the board. And I'm just going, wow, this is incredible. Something really kind of struck a nerve in me that this is an amazing ability. But all right, I don't understand anything on this tape because it's in the Indonesian. And, the universe doesn't make mistakes. So the very next day, when I was stopped at a traffic light by the Utah Schools for the Deaf and the Blind, I saw somebody almost get killed, a
Mhm.
blind person. They were there with their guide dog, and I was stopped at the light. They got the signal to go, and the dog went around the pole, and it led the blind person directly into the light pole. And I was thinking, wow, how dangerous that could that have been if there was traffic coming by, or who knows what could have happened. And it dawned on me right there, I wonder if those Indonesian people help blind people. And so I began a search, and it took me about 2 weeks to find the people on that video who had been doing those demonstrations because it was just unreal. And I wanted to see it for myself. Coming from a medical background, very skeptical. But I know something was pulling me. And so I reached out, I contacted them, and it turns out they had a foundation for blind people and had already been training thousands of blind people and the Indonesian special forces to use this in place of night vision. So I was fortunate enough to bring over the very first contingent of Vibravision demonstrators here to the United States. And I had the honor by the 11th generation royal heirs to this knowledge to become one of the first two people to ever learn it who is not Indonesian. My brother and I began a quest then that we've had the opportunity to help thousands of people with this method of breath work, energy work, meditation, physical fitness, stretching, martial arts, and multisensory development.
Nice. So curious. So since you learned it, can you like do a blindfold and do a lot of the things that you were mentioning?
Yeah.
That yes.
Sure. Well, yes. So some of us have different strengths and talents, yeah?
Sure.
And some people are just naturally gifted at math. Other people have an amazing acuity for visual arts. My strength is not in the Vibravision discipline. So kind of like Bella Carole, you would never see him up on the uneven bars, but boy, could he train gymnasts to become world champions and Olympians and Olympic champions. So my strength is really in imparting this knowledge to other people. It's not a natural skill of mine, but I can do it to some extent, but not like our masters can.
I
Those
gotcha.
people are truly gifted and they work extremely hard at it.
So this is for people that have problems with vision and they can't see very well typically in many cases. So what does it help them achieve or do? Is it so they can just have a normal life, or what is it that this really helps them achieve?
Oh, great. You know, this is a skill that it goes in addition to the traditional non-visual skills, things like caning, braille, use of a guide dog, and all the other things that are taught in vocational rehab for people who are either blind or losing their sight and will become blind. So this is an addition. This is an additional. I just want to make sure that there's a disclaimer on that. We're not promoting that this replaces those things, because all of our skills that we can use to experience the world are valuable. And so what this does for blind people, just imagine for a minute, if I could, I'm going to actually have you do something. I'll have you close your eyes. And I'll have your viewers close your eyes. Easiest thing in the world, right? You can close your eyes. Now just,
all right, hold on.
no problem. Okay. So with your eyes closed, just imagine that you could never open them again. And this was now your world. How would you get to the restroom? How would you get anywhere without being able to drive your car? How would you get to the car? So for a lot of people, they understand that this would be a really difficult challenge in life. But now imagine if you could feel, like through skin sensation, or you could see in your mind's eye, or have an intuitive knowing where the yellow Post-it note was on the desk, or where your pen was, or where your hot cup of coffee was, without having to fumble and search for it. Just as an example, one of our blind students, he's by far one of the most amazing individuals I know. He has climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. He's done the 800-mile rim-to-rim trail and led a team of blind people through it to raise money for charity. Climbed to the base camp of Mount Everest. Multiple black belts in different martial arts. And he has been trained with us for 3 years. He did these other things in addition. They were before he started the Vibravision training. But to give you an example, he was in his garage a couple months ago and he dropped a screw. Now, if you can imagine, if you're blind, what a screw on your garage floor does. Number one, there's the possibility of stepping on that screw, and anybody who's ever done that realizes that's awesome, right? That's exactly what you want to start your day with. Well, most blind people would have to search and scan across the ground on their hands and knees to find it, and he just scanned where it was, got the intuitive flash of that's where it is, bent down, picked it up with 2 fingers. So when we talk about how this helps blind people, even if they're not riding motorcycles through traffic, every blind person who is trained with us has a greater sense of awareness of what's around them, can feel where doors are, where walls are, and a lot of the time can even distinguish colors of people's shirts or things around them. It's truly remarkable. And it's our mission now to offer this training to as many visually impaired people as possible, so that they have another non-visual skill and they can perceive the world in a way they never thought possible.
And what is it? What did you call this? What is the method called, or the?
Our trademarked term is Vibravision. So Vibravision. Vibravision, like vibrational vision, because it's based upon the principle in physics that everything has a vibration to it, all atomic matter. We've had doctors of physics come in and tell us it's the exact same thing. Everything vibrates, everything has energy, everything has a frequency, and all frequency carries information.
And so is that the method that you're teaching people, is to try to pick up on the vibrations of what it is they want to know?
Precisely, precisely. And so if you think about it this way, every single human being has the hardware, but it's a matter of aligning that hardware. Like if you want bigger muscles, you go to the gym and you lift weights. If you want to lose weight, you're going to go on a diet. You're going to go on more of a cardio-oriented exercise regimen rather than just powerlifting. And so when we do different exercises, we get different results. And that's what makes this method so unique, is that it's very specific in the result. And it takes people from point A to point, oh my God, I didn't know that was possible, in our 5-day immersions, and then our support material after that, where people can continue to train and develop this on their own at home. And we're working on how can we help the blind community so that, just like vocational rehab, blind people go and they learn 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, for anywhere from 9 to 24 months. And from blind to, this is to learn how to cane, how to use Braille, how to cook for yourself, how to travel. And even after all of that, blind friends of mine who work at blind schools have told me that about 40% of people don't fully get it. And so we've had a pilot project with blind people where they come up 1 weekend a month, and they're doing amazing things. And it just blows my mind thinking, if we have the support, we have the ability to train people who are visually challenged every single day, 5 days a week, what is that going to produce? Because we haven't had that opportunity yet.
So in regards to the training, is it online or is it in person?
It is in person. This is
Gotcha.
a very precise method. Yeah. So, and it does involve breath work and breathing techniques that we want to make sure people, A, do them correctly, and B, don't hurt themselves. So in-person training is very important for this. But we do have an online training free class that anybody can go to on our MBS Recharge page on Facebook, and you can work out with me for 50 minutes, get a good cardio workout, stretching, start to a basic energy development exercise where you start to really feel more of the sensation of energy in your body, and then feel it outside your body, put it into your body, and then a meditation to help increase your heart and brain coherence and calm your system down.
Understood.
Do that for free.
Got it. So they can kind of get a little sample of your teachings online, but the training itself is actually an in-person thing. Is it? Are you still doing it now with all the pandemic stuff going on?
What we did is it was one of those situations where 3, 2, 1, we're ready to launch, COVID. It was that kind of situation. So.
Oh, so you opened right when this all started. So this year.
Well, no, we've been doing this for quite a while in pilot projects, but and also in the immersion events. But as far as our foundation, our 501c3 that people can donate to help blind people learn this and offset the cost of travel and training and food, etc., that we were just like 3, 2, let's go. And then everything shut down. But that was a blessing. Dr. Carter, that was such a blessing for us because it gave us the opportunity to really refine some things in our business systems and processes to give people the best experience possible, not just getting like in the training, but also post-event support and pre-event support. So overall, it worked out great. We're not going anywhere. Been doing this for 22 years. Now it's just time to launch this and really start helping the people who need it the most.
Are you having any classes now in person right now?
As a matter of fact, for our Vibravision weekly classes, they're online at the moment. But starting Friday, we have a Vibravision immersion starting at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and it goes all the way through Tuesday, and it's about 12 to 15 hour training days. We have breaks, of course, but We have another one coming up August 21st through 25th here in Ogden, Utah, where people from all over the nation
Where are
can
you from?
fly in.
What part of Utah?
Ogden, Utah, which is about 25 miles north of Salt Lake City.
Okay, okay.
That's a half hour from the airport. Yeah,
Okay,
it's a half hour Uber ride. So,
got it.
and yeah,
And so you'll be doing live classes in August.
yes, August 21st through 25th. And we are, of course, sanitizing our school multiple times a day. We're making sure that we are wearing masks, we're social distancing. We're taking every precaution possible to make sure that people can be here safely with us and really blow their own mind. It's not us blowing their mind, it's them blowing their own mind. Because once you ring a bell, you can't unring it. And once you perceive this and that you really understand it and know it, there's no one going back from that. And it just opens a new horizon for people to understand their world in a totally different way, in a more expansive way.
Now, is this primarily for those who have visual impairment, or is it for them and their families and loved ones all at the same time, or what is that? How's it?
For anyone in the blind community or anyone in the mind community, we do have an application process, which if you go to vibravision.com, under the immersion training link, you can apply right there. We do a full background check because we were given this honor to share this by the Indonesian royal family. And part of that is that we will keep it pure. We will only train people with pure hearts who want to use this for good things. And so that is something that we do, is we do vet people before they come in. So we need a few days in order to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what do you say to the people that basically feel that this sounds kind of like it could be an illusion, or it's not, it sounds too good to be true, kind of unreal? How do you address those people?
Well, first I would say good for you for having critical thinking skills. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people who do not have those. The second thing that I would do is I would encourage people to go and see our YouTube channel, mm-hmm. where we have people who are, the president of the Utah Association of Naturopathic Physicians has endorsed us. His daughter is losing her sight. He is trained in this. He's 100% on board with what we're doing because he has experienced it himself.
Right.
We have numerous optometrists. We have all of our blind people have given endorsements and testimonials. And right here in my hand, I'm holding a groundbreaking initial report by Dr. Jeffrey Fannin, who, for those people who are familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza and his work with healing and consciousness, Dr. Fannin was his chief neuroscientist for 9 years, and he did over 4,000 quantitative EEG scans. And in his author's note, he says, in his 25 years, I have recorded the brain doing amazing things, but nothing like what I see now. I have seen and recorded brain function and performance that many would tell you is impossible. This is referring to Vibravision. I can tell you that these things are not only believable, possible, and measurable, but they are a scientific fact. So we've gone to great lengths to prove this to the medical, to the optical, to the blind, and the neuroscience communities. And we're just getting started. We're just getting started. So please be skeptical. Please come to our free workout on our our MBS Recharge Facebook page. Feel it for yourself. If you're interested, please contact me, because you prove it to yourself. When you do these things, you prove it to yourself, and then you can't go back, and you have a whole new outlook on life.
Sounds amazing. It really does. So if you are interested in, you or someone has visual challenges and would like to learn a way to, I guess, overcome or improve that deficit they may be feeling, then this sounds like a good alternative for them. And give the website again, please.
Okay, we have a couple, and I put them in the chat so we can hopefully distribute that. Vibravision, VIBRAVISION.com will take you to the immersion training and let you know more about it. And this isn't just for blind people. It's for people who are mind people, interested in meditation, energy work, breath work, spirituality. This is for anybody who just wants to perceive more than they are right now. But then we have our 501c3 website, and that's vibravision.org. and people can make tax deductible donations there, and those go directly to helping blind people with their travel costs, their food, and their training. Also, it goes to further scientific research, because it's a time in history, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, this is the time in history where it's not enough to know. It's time to know how. And this can be quantified in science, as we're doing. And we want the chance to prove that to as many people as possible and make the biggest impact we can.
Well, it sounds wonderful, Nate. Well, I think we've covered everything. Have I missed anything that you wanted to mention?
No, I just would like to once again express my gratitude to you for taking the time for me to be on your show today. And I encourage all of the people out there to think beyond what your five senses tell you. We understand we can do more. We can do more. The people with amazing abilities, the superpowers, the Jedis in the world, we all have this ability in some way or another. So don't discount yourself. Believe in yourself. Look for what you would think is uncommon, and then go do great things. We all can.
Perfect. Well, Nate, I appreciate your time, and thanks so much for the interview. It was very fascinating.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carter. I appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.